What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. So it seems Remain campaigners and their groups and affiliated groups have been caught being up to no good again, including the director of one of these groups lying to an ITV reporter. Now, there are reports that partisan groups are financing non-political voter registration campaigns. What it should really say is so-called non-political voter registration campaign, because this new group, Vote for Your Future, or VFYF, has been fronting a campaign to get young people to sign up to vote, obviously. Now, they claim to be completely impartial, but it turns out their director is actually Lara Spirit, who was once also a director of Our Future, Our Choice. You know, the Remainers that boast well-known Twitter idiot Femi, who occasionally appears on the Remainstream media to talk his nonsense. It seems while talking to an ITV reporter, their director was being questioned over the group's links to Remain campaigns, namely the fact that they received funding from the Best for Britain campaign themselves. The director Lara tries to deny it, but of course the ITV reporter quickly calls her out, forcing her to backtrack. So let's take a look at the ITV report and the accompanying video with it. It says partisan groups financing non-political voter registration campaigns. Video report and article by ITV news correspondent Rupert Evelyn. Tens of thousands of pounds have been spent on social media campaigns getting young people on the electoral roll. Vote for Your Future, VFYF, is at the forefront of a campaign to register voters, but there are questions about their claim of being non-partisan. Why, for example, is the group taking money from the pro-Remain organisation Best for Britain? Despite her website admitting to it, VFYF director Lara Spirit initially denied receiving the funds. She also denied anything untoward about the source of funding. This is of course because they are not registered with the Electoral Commission, claiming to be impartial. The organisation say they've never pushed voters in any direction, but focus entirely on trying to sign up the third of young people believed to be unregistered. It's a situation they say is nothing short of a democratic crisis, and Vote for Your Future is committed to addressing this imbalance. No, you're committed to trying to push your Remain campaigns, let's be honest. Until September, Miss Spirit was director of high-profile Remain group Our Future, Our Choice, as I said earlier, that has Femi as a member, or a director, or who knows what they are. Since then, she's worked to encourage huge numbers of unregistered young people to sign up. She refutes the suggestion that new organisation is anything other than impartial. Election law is not always clear. As a non-partisan organisation, VFYF is not, for example, signed up as a non-party campaigner, even though they have spent substantially more than the 20,000 that would normally trigger registration. The Electoral Commission told us they had spoken to Vote for Your Future, who say they are aware of the rules, and we all know the Electoral Commission are worse than useless. Let's be honest. Now, let's take a look at the video with this, where she gets caught out by the ITV journalist.
Tens of thousands spent on social media getting young people on the electoral roll.
We're facing a climate emergency. If you care, register to vote.
Vote for Your Future is at the forefront of a campaign to register voters, but there are questions about their claim of being non-partisan. Why, for example, are they taking money from the pro-Remain organisation Best for Britain?
Best Britain haven't given us money in this.
But they're on your website as having given you money.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe they did give us some money, but I mean, I don't know why that would be a problem.
Well, they're a Remain organisation who are funding a so-called non-partisan organisation who are spending tens of thousands of pounds.
But we're using money in a completely non-partisan and transparent way.
Until September, Lara Spirit was director of a high-profile Remain campaign group. She refutes the suggestion that her new organisation is anything other than impartial.
We are genuinely totally non-partisan. We have never suggested for young people to vote one way or another. We would never ever do that.
Advertising spend on Facebook aimed at getting voters to register is big business. Best for Britain have spent nearly £60,000 in a week. Vote for Your Future, £32,000 in the same reported time frame. And the state regulator, the Electoral Commission, a similar amount. Vote for Your Future are not registered with the Electoral Commission, which the online privacy campaigner, the Open Rights Group, thinks might be problematic.
It would be too late to register to vote.
What they're doing perhaps could and should be regulated. However, it seems they've avoided the scrutiny of the Electoral Commission by not registering with them. So they've essentially avoided awkward questions about whether there should be limits on how and what they're spending their money on.
Why are you not registered with the Electoral Commission?
Because we're not a partisan organisation, so we don't need to be registered with the Electoral Commission.
There is a mental health...
The Electoral Commission told us they'd spoken to Vote for Your Future, who they say are aware of the rules. Rules many argue are themselves in need of updating. Rupert Evelyn, News at 10.
Well, that's how you do a car crash interview, when you don't even know what's on your own website. It baffles me that she is a director who doesn't have a clue what she's even talking about regarding her own organisation. Like, to sit there and deny that Best for Britain have donated to you when it's written on your website shows clear stupidity or just unpreparedness for this interview. To go on TV and not be ready and not know what you might be asked is just incredible. And I'm pretty sure that these TV companies actually tell you what they want to ask you before they do, or at least a brief outline of it. She's approached this not having a clue what's going on, so if they did tell her, she probably didn't pay attention or didn't care. And being a former director of Our Future, Our Choice, in my opinion, does not make you impartial or any organisation that you head up. Especially when it's related to an election and you're not registering with the Electoral Commission. That just seems double fishy to me. Plus the fact, as it said in that report, that you spent like 32 grand, which is the same as the Electoral Commission themselves, on campaigning to get young people to vote, when, realistically, you had no real reason to do this. You're just wasting other people's money, partly Best for Britain, but I wonder who else is funding you. I expect it's not just them, that we can guarantee. And as you heard the guy at the end of the clip say, them not registering and going under the radar could be problematic, and I think it definitely needs to be investigated. They shouldn't just be allowed to not register to avoid scrutiny. But it does go to what we all know, that the Electoral Commission are incompetent and practically useless, unless of course you're a Brexiteer, in which case they will hand you down, as Darren Grimes knows. Luckily, he won, but they might well try it with others in the future if they're not sorted out. But guys, we should always be prepared for the type of sneaky shitweasel behaviour that we're seeing here. Being financed by pro-Remain groups and claiming to be impartial is ridiculous, especially when you used to head up one of the main pro-Remain groups yourself. Nonsensical thing if ever I've heard it. But on that note, I will end the video there, guys. I want to thank our PayPal, Patreon, Subscribestar and YouTube members for supporting the channel, along with everyone who watches my videos. Remember to let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Leave a like, subscribe with the notification bell and share this video as it helps the channel a lot. And I'll see you all in the next one.
This Parliament is a dead Parliament. It should no longer sit. It has no moral right to sit on these green benches. They don't like the truth. Twice they have been asked to let the electorate decide upon whether they should continue to sit in their seats, while they block 17.4 million people's votes. Parliament is a disgrace, but they're too cowardly to give it a go. But the time is coming. The time is coming, Mr. Speaker, when even these turkeys won't be able to prevent Christmas.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors. Slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires. And that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going and we are glad to be going. We're off.